Welcome to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. And to our viewers at home, we're talking all about the things that they say. What does that mean exactly? Well, we're going to break down some myths and we're going to talk about building your future with they say. So stay with us. Greg, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good. It's good to see you. And Kristen, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm excited about today's show because we've all heard, well, you know, they say.
Yes.
Well, some of the things that people are saying is the cliches and what have you. Some have validity, others do not. For instance, this one, my mom and dad said all the time. They say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, what does that mean exactly, and how does that correlate with retirement planning? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, I want to know, who are they, first of all?
So do I.
That's what I always ask my mom. Who are they?
Yes,
She
I
didn't
know.
like that. She'd usually bark back at me.
Yes, like, don't ask that, Gregory.
Yeah, exactly.
Gregory Allen.
Gregory Allen.
Gregory
yes, because-
Allen.
Yeah, when I heard all three of my names together, I knew this is not good.
Yep, that is true. That is so true. And that still works actually today, like with Tony, if I say all three. How about, are you upset with him ever and you say all three names?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Gregory. No, I usually say Gregory Allen.
Okay,
That's
you
what
don't
I
put
say.
the last one in?
No, but Gregory instead of Greg is an indicator because
Yes.
I always call him Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, again, we don't know who they are, but they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I know I'm not supposed to use the word ain't, but I'm just going to throw it out there.
Well, a lot of times, you know, people will say that in general about relationships, right?
True.
And what is the one thing you always say? I think it's very clever. I'll give you, and nobody record this and make a button out of it. If you're new to watching, Kristen Charles, our radio co-host, she created a button that says, "You're right, Greg." So don't make a button out of this one.
Whenever we get into a little tiff or something, I'll pull out the button. You're right,
what
Greg.
is what
I
is
love
the thing,
Kristen.
What is the thing you say about relationships all the time?
That relationships are not 50-50. They're 100-100.
No, that's mine. I say that. There's another one you say. You came up with another one, but you just stole mine.
Really?
Yes, you did. There was another one you say.
You probably stole that from me.
I know, whatever.
So, well,
ahead.
for a relationship to work, everybody has to win.
That's what you say.
Yes.
That's it.
Everybody has to win. So it's not sometimes about whether or not something's broken, but the way you prevent things from breaking is you maintain them.
It's true.
It works that way in our finances. You know, you don't wait until you're out of money. You know, you can't pay your bills to start, you know, filling out a budget. You know, you do that ahead of time so you don't run out
Right.
of money, so you can pay your bills, so you can do it on time, so you can keep good credit.
That's
So
true.
those are things we do financially so that we can stay ahead of the game, you know, and with our health. You know, roughly 3 years ago now, I was as heavy as I've ever been. I was up to 233 pounds, which for me was a lot. And I said, you know, my clothes weren't fitting. I was feeling sluggish. I wasn't just energetic at all.
Cholesterol was
Yeah, my
high.
cholesterol was high. I'm thinking, okay, newsflash, if I do the same things I've been doing and expect something different to happen, not going to happen. So I've been on a journey. And, you know, you showed me the other day, I was eating a bar that I thought was healthy and you scanned it on your little scan. It's like, Greg, that causes cancer. And they're like,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be healthy.
I tried to stay positive, but I just couldn't with that one.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
like, no, don't eat it.
That's such an important point that you brought up, because how many times did people, including your mom, stop and say, "You're fine. You look fine."
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You
Right.
look fine. You don't need to diet. What are you
Right.
trying to lose weight for?
Yes.
What really didn't have as much to do about his weight as getting that cholesterol under control.
Yes, but I'm about 30 pounds lighter than I was back then. And, you know, exercising regularly, not eating perfectly because there's really no such thing,
Agree.
but trying to make good, wise choices with the things that I eat. And splurging on an occasion, not on an every night basis. So
what
those
is-
kind of things. But
Yeah.
so what we're talking about is maintaining, though.
Right.
And so maintaining relationships is no different. Working on it. You know, Kristen and I love each other dearly, and it doesn't happen by accident. We do things on purpose she's very thoughtful. But she'll give me gifts that are so special to me. I have a little thing hanging up in my closet that has little hearts in it. And on the hearts are written special dates. You know, our first date, times where we went to, the day we
trip,
were married,
yeah.
a special trip, different
Yes.
things like that. And so when I'm getting ready in the morning, I look and I see that, and I see all the hearts there and all the memories
Yes.
that we built together. And every day is on purpose. Okay, how am I going to react today? How am I going to act today? So it's not always reacting, it's how we act. So whether it be relationships, whether it be our health.
Now, finance is a big one.
Yes.
And with finances, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is that the saying?
That's
Did I get
the
it
saying.
right?
That's what they say.
Doesn't necessarily hold true, because we're talking about finances and retirement specifically on this show. And understanding that your finances may have worked really well for you throughout your working years. But now you get to the retirement years and
Yes.
things are about to change. Things are going to be fundamentally different in the way the money works for you. And so it may be working fine, but you may have to fix some things because you're going to be transitioning into a new period of time.
Makes sense.
And, on a car, we don't want our car to break down. We don't drive it until it quits running. We take it in every so often and we get an oil change. We have the brakes, the brake pads changed. We do all these things to our vehicles to make sure they're running always in good order. And when you transition to retirement, it's not that the things you did when you were growing your money are broken. It's just that they behave differently. It's like, okay, on a hot, beautiful, sunny day, I can drive down the highway, and if I need to stop in a hurry, I can. But if I'm driving down the highway and we just got 6 inches of snow, I have to allow more distance between my stops. I probably need to travel at a slower speed in general. I didn't need to be more cautious. And I feel like that's what's happening when we transition into retirement. We're now getting on some soil that can become slippery. Okay. When the stock market goes down and you're taking out income, if it happens enough early on in your retirement,
Multiple years in a row,
you may never recover. Whereas when the stock market goes down when you're still working and you're continually putting money in, now that's just an opportunity to buy at a lower price. So it really is a different mindset. It's a different purpose for why you're doing what you're doing. So having a plan that allows me early on in my retirement to have enough liquidity for my emergencies and wants and needs, have income that's sustainable, and have growth for the long term to keep pace with healthcare challenges, inflation, and taxes. Now that's a plan that can sustain me all through my journey. I don't want to if I'm driving from here to California, I want to make sure everything's in good maintenance so that I don't break down along the journey.
Something else that people say or think is that they're going to assume they're going to spend less in retirement. Is that accurate, or is that just something that they say before we take our commercial break?
Well, it's definitely a they say, because when you finally go to retire, what are you going to have? You're going to have time. And time equals money.
True.
You're not so busy that you don't get to go out and enjoy the things that maybe you didn't have time for when you were working. So it's really important to understand that you need to account for your lifestyle as it is in your working years, if not more than you have during your working years, to fund your retirement so that you can do the things you've always wanted to do.
Now there's a they say that I believe in, though, and that is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Ooh, that is true. And so for people in the viewing audience, would that be something like a portfolio x-ray?
It surely would.
Oh, okay, perfect. Why don't we offer that today?
Sure.
Okay. To our viewers at home, there's a number for you to call on your screen. That number is 614-336-7660. What we're talking about today is things that they say in retirement. Well, what happens if you're taking too much risk and you're unsure? And you think you're going to spend less because they say you will, but then all of a sudden you find yourself facing the fact that you could be running out of money. You need to take advantage of the Portfolio X-ray today. Call the office at 614-336-7660 and book that consultation with the Legacy Retirement Group. They want to get to know you one-on-one and make sure that you have peace of mind in your retirement. If you're taking too much risk, wouldn't you want to know today Again, all you need to do is call in and book the consultation for that portfolio x-ray, 614-336-7660, or click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. We're going to take a very short commercial break here on Winning Retirement TV. Don't go anywhere. We're talking more in depth about things that they say. Stay tuned.
Have you visited LegacyRetirementGroup.com lately? Not only can you easily schedule an appointment by clicking on Schedule Now, you can visit the Tools section and request a free copy of Legacy's My Retirement Kit. Simply fill in your email address and a few other details. Then check your email and you'll find a 10-page retirement kit in your inbox that can help you become better organized. Legacy's My Retirement Kit is designed to help you take a personal inventory and assign realistic values to your assets for what lies ahead. It's a key first step towards creating a true financial plan for your future. And you can do it for free at home right now. To be clear, this does not take the place of a retirement plan or estate plan, but it will help you get organized for the future of your retirement. Visit LegacyRetirementGroup.com and click on Tools to request your My Retirement Kit today. That's LegacyRetirementGroup.com.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor, of course, of Legacy Retirement Group. And we're talking all about things that people say. They say, if you will. So this is so interesting to me. They say that money can't buy happiness. However, studies have shown that if you have at least your basic needs met, that your happiness level will level off. So in essence, it can buy happiness. However, some people believe that Social Security may be enough to cover most of their daily needs in retirement. Is this true, or is this something else that they say? Social Security will be enough to cover basic needs in retirement.
Well, first I want to address that money can't buy happiness part, because I think it's important to recognize that money itself isn't or shouldn't be the dream, but money being the means to support the dream, and the dream in this case being retirement. So income equals lifestyle. We talk about that all the time, and that number is different for everyone. So understanding that it isn't that the focus should be so much on, oh, I have $1 million. It should be, how much money do I need to support what it is I want to do? And so take the focus away from the dollar amount, and that happiness comes from that. That's where you're fulfilling what it is that you want to do.
So it's basically a tool in the toolbox.
It's a tool.
Truly.
It is.
Just like investment objects are tools, the money itself is a tool.
Yes, and I was thinking there, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a trip to Disney World.
Yay, that makes me happy.
Now, let me just say this though. You can pay for a trip to Disney World and have a miserable time if you don't plan ahead.
Oh man, that's such a good point, because we were there, I don't know, this was several years back, and we were standing outside of the Seven Dwarfs mine train.
Ride.
Yeah, the mine train ride. And the line is outside for the most part, and we were going into the queue, and this family was off to the right of us.
Yes.
And I can picture it because they're off to the right of us, and they're standing at the line. And that ride, if you don't know, it always has a super long wait. Always super long wait, unless it's during the fireworks. And they're standing outside the line, and the mom's like, what do you mean it's a 2.5 hour wait? I think it was 2.5 hours at the time. And the host was standing there saying, well, if you have a fast pass, then, it's about a half an hour queue right now. And she's like, okay, well, we want a fast pass. And she's like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. They're all sold out for today. And the dad goes, this is not the most magical place on earth. And I was sitting, and I was trying not to laugh. And honestly, if we could have given them our passes, we would have, because the kids were so disappointed. And you could just tell that was the thing they were looking most forward to.
Yes.
But they didn't plan accordingly. They didn't understand. They didn't know that you had to get online at 7 a.m. at the time. It's not like this anymore, and sign up for that queue. And I think that's how retirement can be sometimes, because people get to this point and they're like, okay, we're going to retire. And then they find out, oh, I didn't save enough, or, oh, the market dropped last month and now I'm not sure that I can reach this goal date of retirement. Whereas if they would have started that planning 5 to 10 years prior and understood what their money needed to do for them during those years leading up to retirement, then they would have a much better time thinking about the prospect of those years.
Most definitely, most definitely.
So one thing I would say, Cynthia, is the greater the lifestyle that we envision for our retirement, the greater the income need. So it becomes very, very few that could actually live on Social Security alone. There are very few that are so frugal that, I mean, we run into them occasionally where they just will not spend money.
Okay.
Basic of basic needs is all they...
And they're happy.
And they're very happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're very happy being very frugal.
Yes.
And that is definitely the minority, but very few could do that. Now, for the rest of everybody else, where Social Security is not going to be enough, then there needs to be a plan. So I want people right now, number one, to visualize their ideal retirement. Visualize it. Paint a picture in your mind of what you want it to look like. Why? Because that's how we begin to foster the notion of what it's going to cost. Because that's really a big, big deal, visualizing that ideal retirement. And it's different for everybody.
Absolutely.
That's what's so cool.
Yeah.
There's so many families that tell me the cool things they do. It gives me great ideas of one, when a grandchild turns a certain age, they let them pick a trip. Another, they actually several families rent a house on the beach for a week, and they bring all the kids, all the grandkids in. Some of them even hire a chef so they don't have to do the cooking for the week, and it's just a great family time.
Others get in an RV and travel across the country for a couple weeks at a time.
Although there's this one couple, I love them to pieces, but they save to buy an RV. So we would meet for our annual reviews. I would say, tell me about your RV. What are you doing with it? Well, it just costs so much in gas that we don't go very many places with it. I said, what are you talking about? You have a $100,000 RV and you're afraid to put gas in it? I said, let's create a plan. Let's create your put gas in the RV plan.
There you go.
And they're like, what do you mean? I said, what's it going to cost you? Let's figure that out. And let's go ahead and create a plan to put gas in the RV. They said, we can do that? I said, sure.
Aww.
You paid for the RV. Now let's put gas in it.
Yes.
Let's go places. Let's do some things. So once you visualize your ideal retirement, now discover what's it going to cost. And that helped that couple tremendously. They actually started using their RV and going places.
Wow.
Then, Cynthia, this is probably the most critical part. We have to do the math. I'm thinking about a couple. They came in and they had $1.2 million saved. Good job saving. But they needed $60,000 a year to maintain their ideal retirement. It took us about an hour to figure all that out, exactly how much it was going to cost to give them their ideal retirement. I kind of had to pull it out of them, but over about an hour, we figured that out.
Okay.
And so I went to work, and we figured out that they were taking way more risk than they were comfortable with. We found out that if they just kept things the way they are, they couldn't even reach their income goal. Because using the old Wall Street 4% rule, half in stocks, half in bonds, pulling out 4%, they would have needed $300,000 more just to get enough income out. They didn't have enough. So what do? We put $700,000 in a protected income annuity. That protected $60,000 a year for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
Yes. So that left $500,000 for growth. So now that growth money could be there for when they needed to buy a new vehicle, or they needed to put a new roof on the house, or they needed to do some extra things as time went on, because we all know, guess what happens? Life.
Absolutely.
So we went on there. They had all that in place. And now when it was all said and done, they're like, you know what? We feel comfortable living out our retirement dream. We feel comfortable that we can make it happen based on our plan.
Because they had the written income plan.
They did.
Wouldn't you agree that everyone needs that in retirement?
Absolutely.
Yes, it's critical.
I think we should offer that.
Yes.
To our viewers at home, the written income plan. As you can see, for your retirement years, for your enjoyment, no matter what your dreams, your hopes, and your goals are, having a plan in place will allow you to achieve these dreams with confidence, whatever it may be. The written plan you definitely need. The number to call in is 614-336-7660, 614-336-7660, or we've made it even simpler. Click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Takes you right to the landing page of Legacy Retirement Group. Schedule your time accordingly. As you can see, for success in retirement, the written income plan is peace of mind. Like Greg likes to say, the SWAN account, the sleep well at night, that is all in the plan. Make sure you get it today, 614-336-7660, so you too can have the retirement of your dreams. We'll be right back momentarily with more of They Say. Stay tuned.
Living a life is building a legacy of milestones, your first home, raising your children, becoming grandparents, and memories. From the first steps across the living room floor to the walk down the aisle, at every stage, your family is the most important part of your life, and you want to protect them now and in the future. Which is why the decisions you make today are so important. You've worked hard to provide a better life for your loved ones. Now is the time to make sure that lasts. Build a legacy that will influence generations to come. Plan smart. Retire well with Legacy Retirement Group.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group, and we're talking all about things that they say in retirement so that you can debunk some of the myths and enjoy your perfect retirement plan. So this is interesting. They say that laughter is the best medicine. Even the Mayo Clinic finds that laughter can help lessen stress, depression, anxiety, and just make you feel happier. Like, who doesn't love to laugh? I think everyone loves a good laugh.
Positivity. We need more of that in the
Even
world.
Proverbs says, even Proverbs says a merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
Yes.
Yeah, so
choose joy. Be happy all the time.
Yes.
We talk about that movie.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we love joy.
Be happy.
I'm distracted. What is happening here?
I know. I love it. That was cute. I think was that Bobby.
I don't know who that
Don't
was.
worry, be happy.
Yeah.
Greg, our cameraman, will know. Don't. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, relying on the stock market can be risky in retirement, but they say it always comes back. Is that something that can be accurate, or is that a myth when it comes to retirement planning? They say it always comes back.
Well, you know, that kind of reminds me of a friend of ours that I won't say her name because everyone will know who she is probably, but her parents are dealing with some health issues.
Yes.
And pretty tremendous health issues, both of them, the mom and the dad. And recently they thought the mom was dealing with gout. And so being treated accordingly for gout wasn't going away. She wasn't getting better. Her health wasn't coming back. So finally she took her in to the doctor, and the doctor said, you know, let's do an x-ray on her leg and see what it is. Well, it turns out that she had a broken tibia and fibia. No falls, nothing to speak of that would have caused the breaks, but they were broken. So she was walking around for weeks with broken bones and didn't even know it.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how uncomfortable that was.
Well, and it was never going to heal on its own.
No.
I mean, so now with all her other health problems, she can't really go into surgery without having problems. So has a cast on to try to help. And so understanding that with the market, sometimes, especially when you're looking at your retirement years and maybe you're focused on your dollars, your investments, doing what they did when you were in your working years, understanding that under the surface, it's so much different. In your working years, you were dollar cost averaging in, you were constantly putting in money in and it was going up, and you really didn't feel the tremendous effects of the downsides of the market as much as you can in your retirement years when you're removing dollars at the same time as experiencing those market losses. So the market in general as a conversation in retirement is such an important piece to the puzzle. That's why we focus so much on income. We talked about income in the last segment, but now how are we going to see those dollars grow in retirement and not assuming that it's always going to come back, because those dollars you lost, unfortunately, you're not putting money back in.
That
so
makes
they
sense.
technically won't come back.
So what I'm hearing you say, Kristen, correct me if I'm wrong, but losses hurt more than gains help when you get into the
I like
retirement
that.
years.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that
like
truly
that.
is what it comes down to.
It is. And even though the market technically does always come back, that doesn't mean that our portfolio can sustain it. Just imagine the couple that retired back in 2000. They saw the dot-com bubble happen,
Yes.
over a 50% drop over a 2.5-year period. Watching the market come back, yes, it did come back until 2008 when we had the housing crisis.
Yep.
And from 2000 all the way to about 2013, it took for the market to fully recover.
Was that the lost decade, they call it?
That's a lost decade.
Okay.
Now, if you were taking income out during this time frame, and I show this in the office, we have a software that actually illustrates it, that during this last 25-year time frame, if we were just growing our money, we would have averaged 13.3% approximately in the S&P 500, the broad stock market.
Okay. Okay.
If we were pulling out 4%, we would be down by almost 35%. So it is what we call sequence of return risk, which it's really hard to measure. That's why I show this in the conference room with people, is because the brokers aren't getting it. The big box stores aren't getting it. The accumulation advisors aren't getting it. So what we find over and over and over again, when we test people's portfolios, that they're vastly inefficient when it comes to risk versus return,
Okay.
that they have a negative alpha. And without getting too complicated on TV here, alpha lets you know whether or not you're getting bang for your risk buck.
Okay.
Okay? You know, in other words, you wouldn't want to go to a car dealership and pay over $100,000 for a Toyota Corolla.
That's true.
So a lot of people are overpaying with risk for the amount of return they're getting. And it's not paying off in the long run when they're trying to take income out. So the number one thing that I think that people are so deceived about is how much risk they're actually getting in their portfolios.
Okay.
So we like to, and, you know, when we test a portfolio, when we do a portfolio x-ray, we test for risk, we find out their risk score, and we show them how, if a portfolio is actually tailored, no pun intended, to them, how it can be a much smoother path.
Greg, thank you so much. Kristen, thank you so much for your portfolio that's tailored just for you. You need to have the portfolio x-ray. Let the team of Legacy Retirement Group do an x-ray on your portfolio to make sure that you're not taking too much risk. You deserve it. Your retirement years are ahead. 614-336-7660 or click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you next week.